Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a very hot minute since I've been on here talking to you guys. It has just been a wrecking ball trying to juggle two kiddos. Baby girl has made her appearance into the world. She will be 8 weeks this next week on Wednesday and this Saturday when I'm filming this. So I don't know when it'll be up to you guys. Today's video, I'm just kind of going to give you a life update. I'm going to talk about her birth and how everything went, the labor and the delivery. I will do her name reveal today. And if you hear her noise in the background, she's just here on the couch with me, just chilling. She just ate, so now she's probably going to take a little nap and stuff. But so let's just go ahead and get into it. So she will be, like I said, 8 weeks old on Wednesday. She was born on March 2nd at 11:57 a.m. She weighed 7 pounds 5 ounces and was 20 inches long. She is absolutely perfect in every single way, and she is just the best member to our family. Like, I couldn't imagine our life without her. She is just the best little girl. She hardly ever cries. She's a great sleeper. She usually only wakes up once or twice at night and then eats, burps, and then goes right back to sleep. So it is a fantastic. She's treating Mama very, very good. Big brother absolutely loves her. He thinks that she is just the bee's knees. He is all over her, and he is such a big help to me when James is gone during the week. He just helps bring me diapers and always is right there wanting to help change her and bring her binky when she needs it. And he is just so awesome, and I can't wait until she's big enough that she can actually communicate and play with him back, because he's already trying so hard excuse me, to get her to laugh and smile and everything of that nature, and he just loves her so much. He's the best big brother, but we already knew that he would be. And I'll insert some pictures at the end of how they're doing and hugging and what they look like together and stuff, so you can kind of see them together. Yeah, so she was born on March 2nd, like I said. Her original due date was March 7th. My doctor did go ahead and induce me just because I got diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So she was only born 5 days early, but so I think that if she would have been born full, the 40 weeks or whatever, not being induced, she probably would have passed brother's birth weight, and he was 7 pounds 13 ounces, and he was 20 and a half inches. So she wasn't that much shorter than he was, but there was quite a bit of a size difference. So we went in on March 1st at about, I think we got to the hospital about 7:30 p.m. Sorry, him and Daddy are outside working on the trailer. She was born on March 2nd. So we got to the hospital about March 1st at 7:30 to start the induction. I was only about a fingertip dilated, hardly anything at all. And so we get there and they start all the IVs and all the paperwork and everything, and then they ended up doing 3 grams of Cytotec, which just to kind of help get things going. So, and it kind of just helps move things along. So they just go in there and they just insert it in your vaginal canal, and I got 3 doses every 4 hours, and then I had to get my blood sugars tested every 2 hours just to make sure they didn't drop too far, just because I did have gestational diabetes. So they just wanted to make sure that that kept under control, especially since I hadn't eaten since right before I went in. They just wanted to make sure that my body could handle it all together. So, and then, sorry, I'm just trying to think. And then, so I got 3 rounds of Cytotec, and then I never ended up needing to do Pitocin after the 3 rounds, so they inserted the first round about probably 8:30 on March 1st, which was a Tuesday. And then they did another one at midnight, and I was at a 2. And then they did another one around 4, and I was still at a 2. And then my body kind of just took off and did it from there. One of the nurses that I had, though, was very, 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 she was not very good. All my other nurses were fantastic. That's how they were with my first baby, too. All of the nursing staff and everybody was phenomenal. I didn't have a single complaint about any single one of them, except this time there was a nurse. So they have 2 bands around your belly, and one of them monitors baby's heartbeat, and the other one monitors your contractions. And she had him pulled tight so around my body that I couldn't even bend my back, and she put it on so tight so when you tossed and turned at night or whatever, she didn't have to come back in to adjust the bands or whatever. And I really should have asked for a different nurse, but I was just so tired because I hadn't eaten in so long and not sleeping the night before that I was just so tired, and it didn't really even cross my mind to get a new nurse, honestly. But I didn't have her very long. I think she was only there for 2 hours. But anyway, so about 9 a.m., 9 or 9:30, I can't remember, I had asked for an epidural. I did not end up getting an epidural with my first baby just because he came so fast that by the time we had gotten to the hospital, my dogs always decide to fight when I'm filming. Just because by the time we got to the hospital, he was practically already out and there was no time. I was really trying to go unmedicated with her, but because I sat there and I labored all night long, I couldn't do it anymore. And my body was just so tired, and I needed to have some kind of relief just because it was so hard on my body and I was so tired, and I just needed to get a little bit of rest in. So about 9 or 9:30, I ended up asking for an epidural, but the anesthesiologist was in with doing another one, so it probably wasn't about 10 or 10:30, I can't remember, when he finally came in and ended up giving it to me. And at that point, the contractions, I couldn't even breathe through them. They were very, I was hunched over in the fetal position. They were pretty consistent. Ever since they gave me my first round of Cytotec, they were pretty consistent the whole entire time. 3 to 4 minutes apart, lasting 30 seconds to a minute the whole entire time I started getting them, which made it really, really hard to sleep. And because they started 2 hours after I got in the first round of the Cytotec. And then I ended up getting a really lower back pain, and it just was awful. I don't know if she was face up and then turned last minute, but I didn't have any back pain with my first baby. If you want to go ahead and watch that birth experience or listen to that birth experience, I'll go ahead and link that video below, because that was one of the first videos I ever did. I've been on YouTube a little over a year now, but I've taken a little bit of break. I think my last video was November, but her pregnancy was just a lot harder on my body than my first baby, and I think it's because he's 2.5 now, and it was just a lot harder to get around, go to work, come home, take care of him, and have someone else to take care of rather than when I was pregnant with him. it was, I didn't have anybody else. I didn't have another life to take care of. So I pretty much fell asleep on the couch every night. Come on. Because I didn't have another person. So she was just a lot harder on me and made my body just a lot more tired because of that. So and I just needed to take a little bit of a break, and we've just been enjoying all of the new baby snuggles. She's just been so fun and just been soaking up all these newborn stages, because it really does go so fast, especially with your second baby. They don't tell you how much faster it goes with your second baby than your first. But so around 10:30, the anesthesiologist finally comes in and gives me the epidural. And at that point, I can't even move. It took a lot out of me just to be able to sit up in bed and hunch over so they could give it to me. And they really wanted to check me to see how far I was before he ended up giving it to me. And I couldn't even let them check me because I was so afraid I wasn't going to be very far, and it would be a lot less painful to already have the epidural once and then have them check me after that. So it was about 11 when I finally ended up getting the epidural, because it takes a while. And it honestly was not that bad. Like, I have heard like really bad experience stories about epidurals and them not working, and I didn't have any bad side effects. It didn't took effect the first time. Like, my anesthesiologist was great. He walked me through the whole entire process. My husband is an awesome support team. He was absolutely fantastic. He was there the whole entire time, and he just let me squeeze all of the hair off of his arm. And so about 11, it finally ended up kicking in, and then my water broke on its own, but I didn't know that it had broke. I just thought I was peeing because I couldn't feel anything. I just felt the bed getting really wet, and I told the nurses that, and they're like, I think I'm peeing, and they're like, oh, that's okay, you know, it happens once you get your epidural because you lose your feeling or whatever. And then they went to check me, and they're like, no, I'm pretty sure that was your water, but you're 5 centimeters dilated. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fantastic. And then from there, it really kind of just took off. I went from 5 centimeters to fully dilated in 30 minutes. So I started pushing at 11:30, and she was out at 11:57. My first baby, I had a total of 3.5 hour labor altogether. Like I said, I'll link that video down below, but I just have really fast labor and deliveries, I guess. Like, all of the nurses and the doctors and everybody who always comes in, they just always talk to me about how lucky I am that I don't have to, labor all day and push forever. And but yeah, it was just a wonderful experience, But anyway, so the epidural actually didn't have time to really fully kick in, so I still felt pretty much everything, just because by the time that I actually had gotten it, my body just progressed so fast that the epidural could not keep up with the pain management towards it. My dogs are fighting in the background, sorry. And it couldn't keep up with how fast my body went, and so I pretty much just felt anything anyway. But I do feel like because I got it, I was able to relax a lot more, and that's what made my body be able to progress as fast as it did. I don't feel like if I would have been hunched over like I was, or going without it and not being able to relax, that it would have gone as fast. So, I mean, it's hard to know either way because I did end up getting it, but I do feel like maybe that's kind of what helped push my body along, was because I did get a little bit of sensation, not a whole lot. I don't think it had even fully, because they say it can take 10 to 20 minutes before it even takes effect and work fully, but I was progressing so fast after that I don't think it really even had a chance to be fully working before I was, ready. So they texted my doctor when I was at 5 centimeters, and they're watching my contractions on the monitor, and they can see them progressively getting closer and closer together. And the doctor was like, okay, well, go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and check her again in 20 minutes. And then, like, 5 minutes went by, and they're like, check me again, and then I'm at a 7. And so my doctor, he works in a family clinic office as well, so he doesn't do, like, C-sections, and he doesn't do, like, high-risk births, like if you have multiples, or if you're just a high-risk pregnancy. He's not a high-risk doctor. He's just a regular family doctor who does the babies on the side, and then he can be like your pediatrician as well. He sees both of my husband, and then Owen as well, and then her, so he sees their whole family. So she texted him on her, she was at a 7, and they start getting everything ready because things are rapidly speeding up, and things are going very, very fast. And so when I get to a 9, they're like, okay, I'm going to get him on the phone, and I'm going to tell him that he needs to get here now, because he barely made it to the birth of my first baby. He didn't even have time to change or dress down. He had to deliver and catch my first baby in his regular work clothes. So, and so when I get to a 9, I kept telling him, I don't think he's going to make it. Like, I can feel it happening. He's not going to make it. And one of the nurses was so sweet. She's like, that's fine, I'll catch her if I need to. But he didn't end up making it. So like I said, I went from 5 centimeters to fully dilated in 30 minutes. At 11:30, I believe 11:45ish, something like that, I started pushing. She did get a little stuck on that ring of fire, and I was begging for a C-section at that point just because it was so hard, and I did not feel like I was going to be able to get her unstuck. But, it happened. So she came out, and she had a really bad red mark right here around her head because she was stuck there for so long. And then she was born at 11:57 a.m., 7 pounds, 5 ounces, 20 inches long, of pure perfection. She is just the light of our lives. She has everybody wrapped around her finger. I will go ahead and insert her name here. So, like I said, I'm doing pretty good. A little bit about the afterbirth. I did end up getting a 1st-degree tear, which is improvement from my first baby. With him, I got a 2nd-degree tear, and I hemorrhaged. So none of that happened with her because she came a little bit slower and not quite as into the world like he did. We were able to go home the next day after her 24-hour scans and her tests and everything that had to get done. They have to legally keep you for 24 hours just because to do the hearing and the sight and all the other tests that they have to, the mandatory tests that they have to do. So they have to at least keep you for 24 hours. But, and so that first day home, it was really hard because Owen had been away from us for 2 nights, and I had never been away from him for that long. And it was just really hard, and he just looked huge. Like, he looked so independent. He's 2.5, but he just looked so big, and, like, my world was falling apart because he looked like he was ready to go to kindergarten when we got back, and he just looked so big. But he's so curious about her, and he just is so good with her. He loves her so much. But I'm doing okay. I do have some complications from the afterbirth still. I'm almost 8 weeks out, and I'm still having some postpartum bleeding. But my doctor said that is normal. I only bled for like 3 or 3.5 to 4 weeks after her, and then it stopped, and then it came back, and then it stopped, and then it came back. So I was really concerned that it might have been my cycle returning, but my doctor said that it's very unlikely where I am nursing. he just thinks that didn't get fully done the first time, so it's just my body finished draining everything out, and but it should go away at the beginning of May, and if it doesn't, then he said he will send me in to do an ultrasound to make sure everything healed up correctly, so I will go ahead and keep you guys updated on that. But other than that, I just wanted to come on here and kind of give you a little bit of an update on our life. I am going to start up the videos again, at least one video a week. Hopefully I can get my dinner videos out for you guys, but we're just trying to enjoy life and get in all the baby snuggles that we can, because she's growing up right before our eyes already, and we are just enjoying every little bit that life has to offer us right now. And we're so excited for the summer. We have zoo trips planned, and we're going to go on camping trips, and we are just so excited to enjoy all these firsts as a family of 4. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and we'll make sure to see you next time. Bye.